Hi, so it's Brian. I've just arrived at a place called Las Colinas in Costa Blanca, Spain. Not played the course for at least 10 years, and so I'm quite excited to play it today. Since I've been last here, they've done quite a few improvements, and also they built a very large short game area. So it'll be really interesting to see what the place is like. I'm going to take loads and loads of photographs. Probably won't do the place justice. Lots of water on the course and lots of bunkers. So let's see how it goes. This is the range, and this is how good they do things here. Yes, you do get those pyramids of balls, and yes, there is a shot tracer there. It's a great place to play, and like I said, not played it for so long, and so really looking forward to it. But this is Las Colinas. So this is the putting green at Colinas. Unfortunately, they've been doing some work on it because they've got a big tournament coming up. It looks okay. It's been top dressed and that, but we'll see how it goes. But certainly big enough to get some good putts in. So just a selection of the holes at Las Colinas. This is the first hole, very demanding tee shot required. It's a dog leg, and you've got to basically get your tee shot in the centre of the fairway. And as in most holes at Las Colinas, the hole is heavily bunkered. And then for your second shot, you're then going to be faced with a shot to an uphill green, and as you can see, this is the first hole, and you can see what you're faced with, and you're trying to hit this from probably about 185 yards away. So it's heavily bunkered green. Las Colinas, it's very demanding start actually, and the second hole actually shows this. You drive to a tee around the corner, and then what you're faced with is once again a tee shot into a slight valley, heavily bunkered to the right, very deep rough on the left. The thing is as well, you've got to get your tee shot over that slope in the centre of the fairway, or else otherwise you're going to find yourself with a very long shot in. If you walk off here with a par, you have done exceedingly well, because one of the challenges which you face with your second shot is once again you're faced having to hit this green, an uphill green, heavily bunkered, death at the back of it, so basically it's better actually to be short. You then drive to the third tee, and this is what you're faced with. You really have, it's a par 5, and you've got to get your tee shot away, and you've got to hit the centre of the fairway. And the reason being, because unless you're an extremely big hitter, you are faced with a very narrow second shot which has to thread between out of bounds on the right, or bushes, or hazards, or basically you're in the water to the left. If you're too big, you can actually be in the water in a ditch in the fairway. You're then going to play your third shot onto, once again, over a pond to a heavily bunkered green. The fourth hole is relatively easy, just very heavily bunkered. It is a short hole, but danger lurks on the left because of the trees, and trees on the right. It was rather remiss of me that I missed out the photograph of the fifth, which is a very dangerous par 3. It has a pond on the left and plays about 190 from the tee. You're then faced with the sixth hole, and what happens with number 6 is that you've got quite a demanding tee shot, and then you're faced with once again a heavily bunkered green. And as you can see on this picture, the bunkering is not only heavily to the right but also to the left. And what signifies this hole is it's actually a very long, narrow, thin green, but very long, probably about 40 yards long. So the par on here is a good score. And as you can see, by this following picture, you can actually see how narrow the actual green is and what the full length of it. So once again, par's a good score, but if the flag's at the front, it can be a birdie because you hit the hole right, the ball will meander down to the flag. You then approach a very short par 3, but once again, you've got to hit this green. You can't afford to be left, you can't afford to be right, obviously not short, and you can't afford to be big, because over the back of the green is disaster. But it is only short, and even after whites it only plays a maximum of about 150 yards. Then we get to a very demanding 8th hole. Basically you've got to be straight, you're carrying over, it is a high tee shot, but you're carrying over a hell of a lot of vegetation and dead ground. If you basically are short on this with your tee shot, you will lose your ball. You've got to basically hit that fairway, and then you've got quite a hard shot in to quite a slopey green. The 9th plays uphill, and basically off the tee, once again straight shot, avoiding the bunkers right and the vegetation left. You then can be faced with quite a short shot in actually, but it is once again, like everything at Las Colinas, you always seem to be playing to an uphill green. So that's the front 9 at Las Colinas, and now we enter the back, and the first hole that you're actually faced with is this par 3, and it's very tight, bunkering left. Slightly left of those bunkers, you've lost your ball, it's out of bounds. Going to the right, you've got a very demanding shot to hit. Once again, a very slopey, very long par 3 green. Playing from the yellows, it plays about to the centre of the green, probably about 150, 155. The 11th is a very demanding par 5. From the tee, you actually have to hit it's a dog leg to the right. You have to hit the fairway because, as you can see, from the bunkering, just going down towards the green, you've got to then make sure you hit it very long. This hole's 550 yards long, and the 3rd shot is played to an elevated green, which is very hard to hold. So you've got to be coming in high, quite demanding. Next hole, basically, once again, you seem to be always playing uphill at Las Colinas. It is short, but pull your tee shot left. You've had it, push it right. You've probably got no shot as a chip out. And once again to an elevated green. I missed out the next hole, but the hole after it is what is the signature hole. It's a par 3, it's downhill. The day we played it, it was 190 to the flag, and it's surrounded by water at the front, bunkers to the right, water all to the left, and water at the back. If you hit this green, it's a good shot, and that's it. So it's a great hole to play, and visually it is as well. The hole that follows is another par 5. You've got to hit 3 good shots because it's bunkered, and then we get to the 16th hole. As you can see, a very demanding shot. You have got to take that lake on, and the reason being is if you are to the right, well, basically you cannot get on the green, it's just so long, so you've got to take that lake on, and the even from the LOT, it's a minimum of 200 carry, so but you do have to go for it. Missed out the 17th, which is quite a long par 3, and then we're going to now. Just as a taster of this course, this is the 18th hole. You actually drive further back down between that line of trees, and you're hoping then you do not reach those bunkers in the distance. What you then have to do is play up in between here up to this fountain, and then what you then will be doing is you then hopefully avoid all those bunkers and you play to a very slopey green. So that is the finishing hole. So just finished at Las Colinas. What do we think of the place? The actual course itself is very well maintained. Despite the rumours, it's actually in very, very good condition. The greens were slow, they'd been sanded, but basically they were still running true, but they were slow. So that's the only criticism really. So if you come here to play, you will find a great course, a great setup. It's tough. We played it from as far back possible as the yellow tees can actually go. So the full course, which is unusual sometimes. So there you go. Great day at Las Colinas. From myself, few bad holes, but ended up with a 12 over gross, which wasn't too bad considering just had to hit a few loose shots. So there you go. That's Las Colinas.